it's good to be back after a while of not posting.
It was, obviously you guys know we had posted a lot last week, and then we had gotten back into Riviera and we did our video when we got back there, and we haven't posted in a few days.
And we're clearly, I just spit. We're clearly driving right now. I just ate a candy bar and I just spit at you guys.
We are driving back to Dallas.
Yep.
We've been doing a lot of thinking, a lot of soul searching, and we've been talking a lot amongst, just between me and Jason, and there's a lot of things that we've been thinking about pretty heavily, and we have come to some conclusions.
Yeah, so pretty much a lot of you guys know Jaylena just lost a really, really close friend. She was super young to cancer. And if you know about, if you've ever been through that, you know that you learn a lot from that, you take a lot from it, and it really gets you thinking about,
what is important to you, what's not important to you, how you want to live your life, the things that, it changes you.
Yeah, and so, as you also know, we were about to start building our tiny house, and we have footage that we never put out yet because we've just been thinking on it, but we got the trailer out and moved out and all that stuff, and we started thinking, all right, before we actually start building, is this the right decision for us? And so we started thinking, and we're just like, well, what else do we have? Like, we don't live up there with Jared anymore. We are technically still paying, somewhat on some stuff, but that's not where we're gonna live, and Jared needs his space. Jared likes his privacy and all that. So should we start building the tiny house? And yes, we want to start building, but we started thinking, should we do it at the ranch? Or should we listen to some of you guys that started commenting and saying, hey, what if you did it on your own property? And that really got us thinking.
We really took what we and Jason had said to each other, and we took everything that you guys have said to us to heart, and we really thought about this a lot. And being on the ranch is amazing, but when it comes down to it, it is family land, and it's a lot of, not rules that we have to follow, but it's a lot of...
You got to take a lot of other people into consideration.
Yeah, there's a lot of other emotions and thoughts, and...
We have hunters that come out, that's,
Ultimately, it's just not ours to do with what we want to.
Yeah.
And so, yes, we originally wanted to do a tiny house on wheels, like, from the very start, but when we had that in our heads, it was so that we could take it with us anywhere.
Well, but most likely it never would have left the ranch.
No, I'm saying before we even left the ranch.
Yeah.
But having to build tiny house on wheels at the ranch was only because we had to make it mobile for the ranch in case we wanted to move it, or we had to move it somewhere else.
Because the land wasn't split up yet. My dad and my uncles and stuff, they are in talks and doing legal stuff to actually physically split the land. And so as of right now, we just started thinking, and we're just like, well, it may not be the smartest thing to go ahead and build here, because we had started talking as a family, and they already got some paperwork going, and we thought it'd be a little bit quicker, and that they would be able to split it up sooner, and we would know where we can do it and move it and all that stuff. But with everything going on, we just found out that it's a waiting game, and it's no fault of anybody. It's just the way it is. It's just taking longer than any of us ever expected. So it's either, do we put our kind of dream on hold, or do we go potentially move somewhere else? So we have came to the conclusion that we're going to be open-minded, pretty much. We still may go to the ranch, or stay at the ranch, not go to the ranch, but stay at the ranch and build the tiny house just like normal, everything. That's still a very, very good option. But why not have other options?
Yeah, the reason why that is just an option at this point is because it is not ours, and it will not be technically ours
For a very,
very long time. So we are just at the point where we want something that is ours, that we can, you know, we can build a real house that's like an actual set structure. That's not, it doesn't have to be mobile, or there's no restrictions on us on what we can do.
So we started looking, and with our budget and our credit, which is pretty much not there, both of them, we're looking for owner finance. Again, that's how we got the land up there that Jared's at. So we're looking for owner finance, very low down payment, very low payments. That way we can use whatever money we have to slowly build our dream house, technically. And it's gonna be smaller still, but it's gonna be built that it can be permanent, but we can build on. So if we have kids, we can build on and it makes sense. And on that note of if we can have kids, one place we're going first is Oklahoma. The biggest reason, there's two big reasons. One, it's a different scenery. It's more in the mountain where we're looking.
But it's still close enough to the Dallas area that it's just a few hours drive. Yeah,
it would be like 3 hours from Jared. And then, you know, the rest of our friends and family, Jaylena's got brothers and sisters and stuff in Dallas. And so we would be close enough that if any of them ever wanted to come up, we could have them up, or we can come down. And that the second biggest thing that we are taking into consideration if we are trying to have kids is Jaylena's health care.
I am, if you don't know, I am Native American, and I do get free health care, but I have to go to, in order to receive that particular free health care, I have to go to a hospital that is in Oklahoma. So it only makes sense that, actually, it makes perfect sense for
to be close
to that area, so that I don't have to stress about, you know, certain hospitals or, like, you know, Medicaid and things like that nature. I already have the free health insurance. You know, I can go there. That's a huge pro of this location.
And if we do have kids,
our
covered.
Kids will be covered by that same insurance.
Yeah, so we'll be able to go there and, you know, make sure everything's good.
Or health care, not insurance.
Yeah, and so those were like the two big reasons why. And then the third one pretty much is just, it kind of fits in our budget. From what we've seen, we're actually going to check it out. We don't know exactly what it's going to look like in person. There are tons of different plots of land that we're going to look at, and some are a little more up in the mountain. Almost all of them are completely off-grid. No water, no power, I mean, nothing. And so that's kind of what we were wanting to do out at the ranch, was get off-grid. And so we want to eventually get it where we are on full solar, maybe potentially get a water well put in or some kind of system. A lot of these properties have creeks or lakes on them, so that's a good source of water. Not really for us to drink, but for our animals, watering, you know, our garden, and we can do rain catchment and all that stuff. So that's like a big reason why we're thinking of checking out Oklahoma, are those basically three reasons. And then we're also thinking there's land in West Texas, there's land in East Texas, but we are willing to, again, go out of state, but that border Texas, so New Mexico, Colorado, Arkansas, stuff of that nature.
Colorado border Texas, but...
Well, you know, it's right there.
It's not too far.
Yeah, it's close.
Yeah.
We've been there before, and it wasn't terribly far away.
Yeah, so those are just, I mean, that's just kind of an update that we wanted to give you guys, and we wanted to be upfront and kind of honest with you. I feel like the ranch really tested us both individually and together as a couple, and I feel like we did hit rock bottom to a point, and I feel like over the last couple of weeks, I can't speak for Jason, but I personally believe that our marriage is stronger now than it has ever been, and if we can get through the last 4 months, and especially the last 2 weeks,
Yeah, and we believe everything happens for a reason. Again, we still may stay at the ranch, so don't say we're cutting that out. But say we do move to Oklahoma if we find land, maybe it's the reason why we didn't get the trailer down here, because then we'd have to haul it back up. So, you know, stuff of that nature. Why do we have the travel trailer? Because if we move and it's remote, we need it. It has some solar already hooked on it to keep the battery charged and stuff like that. We would get a generator. Water, technically we only need water for bathing. All the other water, like at the ranch that we drank, we just bought it. Realistically, we bought bottled water and stuff like that, so it's really not that big of an issue. But
of course, we would probably get those big jugs.
Yeah.
Keep multiple big jugs, and that will be our drinking water.
Yeah.
It'll be a huge learning curve. It'll be a wild adventure.
Yes.
No matter where we end up, even if it's at the ranch, this is going to be huge for us. And so we're just at the point where we need something, or we feel we need something that
it's a little more permanent.
Is, yes, more permanent. That's ours, that we have, like, you know, full reign on.
Yeah, and so this is something. You think you guys are getting hit with, you know, this sucker punch? We almost feel the same way. My parents feel the same way. Really and truly, as we're filming this, Jared doesn't know, Matt doesn't know, you know, my uncles and stuff don't know. Like, this is going to be a huge thing for everybody. But really and truly, in the very end, when it comes down to it, Jaylene and I have to figure out what's best for us.
Yeah.
And it's just the way it is. Some of you will drop off and not want to watch us because we're not at the ranch anymore. Some of you guys will think we're crazy and you want to watch. Some of you guys will think we're going to fail and you want to watch because of that. That's cool and it's awesome. But what we're really hoping, if we don't decide to stay at the ranch and if we go somewhere else, to show you guys literally how you can get land if you don't have good credit or a lot of money, how you can build it up from nothing, how you just, I mean, from start to finish, everything. I mean, every step of the way.
We're going to take you guys with us.
Yeah, we're just normal people, and we want to show you guys, because we know a lot of you, this is your big dream, is to move and start over and maybe go off grid and do all this. We are going to be doing it very, very, like, it's going to be hard to do. That's all I can say, I guess. It's going to be a big test, and we want to take you along with us, so that's kind of where we're at. It has nothing to do with the family not getting along. It has nothing to do with us, you know, not liking the ranch anymore. We personally love the ranch. It's something that is near and dear to my heart. I've known it my entire life. I love it. Jaylena started to learn to like it a lot more than she probably thought she would have. We've invested a lot of time and effort into it. But before we start building our house, what is the absolute best option here? Stay where we're at and kind of feel like it's not ours, and we do have to kind of follow the family's rules, which aren't even bad, don't get me wrong, but we still will always have to kind of, you know,
we'll always have to tiptoe. We'll always be under someone's thumb, and not in a bad way, but just in a way that it's not ours.
It's not fully ours. Or do we go and find something that we can afford, something we're really happy with,
something
and
where we can really kind of settle down,
and we can do it slowly, and you know, we can do what we need to do, and it's ours, and at the end of the day, we don't have to move it, and it's ours. So that's kind of where we're at. If you guys have any questions or concerns, you know, as always, just throw them down in the comments. We'll try to answer them. We will be on the run a lot right now, so it's gonna be iffy. Maybe if we can comment back as fast as normal.
If you guys have any advice that you'd like to relay to us, if you have any like websites for owner finance land,
yes,
send them our way.
Yes,
for sure. We're definitely looking. We're definitely open. Our minds are wide open right now, and we're just trying to stay as positive as possible and look toward the future. We're both keeping our chins up, and we're just trying to find what makes us happy.
Yep, and I'm excited.
I'm excited too. I don't have any reservations about the whole situation at all.
No, and just before we jump off, if you guys do have ideas of where we could move, or whatever, please keep it in Texas or around Texas. We're not moving across country or anything like that. We still want to stay fairly close to family and friends and kind of what we know. So just on that, just please keep that in consideration. Don't send us land that's like in California or, you know, something of that, you know, nature. But that, and don't count the ranch out. And are you guys ready for this crazy adventure that no one saw coming?
I guess that's the big question. Are you ready?